13th floor. The 13th floor.
I'll be all right, man, let's ride. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 13th floor, where the furniture isn't always the best, but the views are amazing. Even when you're in the darkest corner of the show, the views are still amazing. Mike D.
Yes, sir.
What's happening, baby?
Rude dog.
Rude to the brothers.
Yo, I want to give I want to send prayers to Zurion Simpson.
Man.
You my dog. Love you, team. Be
Prayers
well.
up. He was in a very, very tragic motorcycle accident. He is, and it sounds like he's in critical condition, but we are praying for his full recovery, speedy recovery. We with you, dog. Rue. Now, Mike,
dog.
I need you to pass some of that light on to BJ, man, because he over there.
I'm trying to, man. I'm trying to get some of this light off.
BJ, what's happening?
All good, baby. All good. We're here for another day. Let's make it happen again tomorrow.
Let's make it happen again tomorrow?
Yeah, we're here one more day. Take it one day at a time, baby.
That's okay. I'm with you. I've never heard that before. That's new. I got to add that to the bag. Jiggy J Days, what's happening, baby?
What's going on, player? Another beautiful day in paradise, man. We're living life.
Hopefully the listeners can't smell your shoes, man. All right.
Hey, but they can see these views though. That's the light. You see that smile? Look at that.
Look at that.
That's the light, though. I can't take credit for that. That's my lighter.
Last but not least, Faison, what's happening, baby, with the Miami U on?
Oh man, representing well.
Hey, man, September
12 days. What is it? 15 days, baby. 15 days.
Yeah.
15 days to hurricane season. I can't wait.
The flag out. The flag will be rotation. It'll be the Hurricane and the Eagles.
I actually think college football is going to be interesting this year. I think Alabama going to lose 2 games.
I haven't looked at anybody's schedule, and I haven't looked past September 2nd for the Canes because that is going to be the make or break for the season.
Nah.
Oh, absolutely. Bro, if they don't blow out LSU.
We got the highest percentage. We're ranked number 8 right now, right? In a preseason. But the polls got us winning percentage-wise every single game, winning out. Even FSU with their quarterback coming back. We got the FSU was like 62% chance. I think the lowest after that was not Virginia Tech. It might have been Virginia Tech.
Man, I don't like Virginia Tech.
We ain't beat Virginia in I don't know how long, bro. Like, I don't know.
The school's all right, but man, that athletic department, I don't like them at all. Shout out to
percentage-wise, they got us winning out the all games, baby.
But man, they're tough. It's tough going there. I make sure to rock my jersey or my polo that day just to be sure.
But yo, the one they gotta watch out for. I'm gonna call in it now, and y'all can call me later on in the season. Is that FIU game? Only because. Hold on. What happened every year when we got something like that? Them boys, the last time we played FIU, everybody remember what happened, right?
We got to the fight. I remember. Okay. I was in. Was I in the stands? I was in the stands.
And why did that happen? Because them boys at FIU. Because them people at FIU, them boys are salty. They never made it on the team.
Yeah,
So they coming out with a chip on their shoulder. You know when them boys play with a chip on their shoulder, we got to come out strong from the get-go.
Man. We gonna get their best go.
If they come out slipping or sleep in the first few minutes, they better watch out.
Listen, man, Rick got to come out.
I got faith in my boys.
Rick got to come out there with the mentality: kill a mosquito with an axe. I'm talking about first quarter. I'm throwing bomb after bomb, dropping bombs. Like it's bombs over Baghdad. It's like Desert Storm all over again, man. We need to blow them out. Hey,
man. I'm getting excited, man. It's that time of year again.
It is, man. And I just hooked up my TV thanks to Faison. I got my sports ready. I got my movies back right and my TV shows. So cutting the cord, baby. If you ain't there already, you better get there.
Hey, can you get the NFL Network or like the Red Zone on one of them sticks?
I'm gonna talk to you after the podcast.
On one of them sticks.
Yeah, I got you.
That's a conversation after the conversation.
That's a conversation after the conversation. But right now, we got to talk about how proud I am of this neighborhood that I live in, man. I saw something a couple of days ago that warmed my heart and actually made me stop and think about the fact that I actually live in a black neighborhood.
Oh.
So I was on my way home And it's been increasingly black since we moved in 3 years ago. It's a lot of Africans and it's mixed. We got some Caucasians in, some Latinos in, but it's majority black folks over here. But I was on my way home from work Friday, and I'm driving, and I happened to see a lemonade stand on the corner. 4 young ladies of varying ages. Probably the oldest one was probably about 11 or 12. The youngest one was probably about 6 or 7. And they was out there kicking it, had their little paper lemonade signs and everything. I actually got a couple pictures in the video I got to post on the Instagram. But I rolled past and they was flagging me down. I was like, dang, man, I want to stop, but I got to get home first. But I get home, I pick Chris up, we go back out there, man, and we pay $5 for like a 18-ounce cup of lemonade or whatever and kick it with them. I mean, they was only charging $1, but all I had was $5, and I was like, I'm not gonna take this change. So I had what they deserved. But man, like it was really beautiful. I was so proud of those young ladies for getting out there and getting it. Just having that mindset early, and the parents. It wasn't any parents with them; they were old enough to be out there, but the parents to be trusting enough of the neighborhood. And these are things that were reminiscent of how I was when I was growing up, because we used to be in other neighborhoods, like all over the place at this age. Mm-hmm. So to have that comfort level and them to be out there and on the entrepreneurial groove at such an early age is like, wow, man, this is what I want to see. This is how we should be raising our kids. No doubt, it was amazing.
I just left a networking event today, actually. I left a networking event, and it was a 14-year-old girl there. She got 2 businesses. She got a business, a T-shirt business, and then she got a business where she like brings, I think, 5th graders together, African-American 5th grade girls, and just teach them about self-love. And I'm like, yo, you 14. So I'm just like, yo, like definitely, man. That's what's up. I think it's just a generational change that's going on, man.
It's a mindset. It's a mindset shift, man. And it starts with the surroundings they're in, whether it's the parents, whether it's neighbors, whether it's something. It's just that surrounding, and you put that into their mind, and once they get an idea, that goes.
And letting them run with it, man, it's freaking awesome. Like, cause my daughter been asking to do the lemonade stand for a while, but we was just all of the mindset like, man, let's do something like that's a little bit more modern, because I thought it was an antiquated way of trying to raise money. I'm thinking, okay, you make these bracelets, you doing the slime thing. We can figure out something that's a little bit more creative than just your general lemonade stand. But now she done seen this. Now it's like, so, Daddy, when we gonna set this table up? When we going to get this country time? What's up?
What the funny thing is that with the lemonade stand, you can teach a lot with Absolutely. That. I mean, there's no cost of goods. There's there's inventory. There's the supply and demand. Just the handling cash. You can even have them use some of those apps, Square apps, or other kind of apps for payments. They don't have cash. Mm-hmm. So all those things, that's a good start for them, and it's simple. I mean, the loss, if you do have any loss, you can do. Does she want to do fresh squeeze, have a lower yield, or does she want to buy her powder? What's her choice? And does she want to understand the quality of that? If she buys this, she only charges but so much because it's not a premium. So now you're making her think like an adult or all those things. So yeah, I mean, the braces and slimes are cool things, but a lemonade stand is hard work. It's also like adult thinking, like that's CEO thinking, because there's so much more goes into it than just lemonade and the sugar. Like that she want to do honey instead of sugar. Like she has all these decisions to make.
That's honey joint. So throw some fresh strawberries in there.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Have a little lemon on top of the cup for everybody to take, or she's gonna not do that. There's something she wants to do, like where you starting and how you're gonna get to the end of goal.
Those girls down the street, country time, we do fresh squeeze.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
How we getting into the country?
I put mint leaves in my lemonade. I don't know what they do.
And these are the skills that for so many years have been overlooked. Like, it's great to see young kids doing this. It doesn't matter again where they come from, what community it is. It's just that the entrepreneurial spirit, and teach them like, you don't have to go work for somebody to make it. You can start your own thing. Like I was on I'm gonna shout out real quick. We was talking about this real quick. One of my homegirls I went to high school with, her son. I've been following her on Instagram for years, and she started posting last week. Her son came with his 11, same age as my son. Came with an idea. He wanted to do something of his own. He started buying blank hats and patches and making his own designs and everything called Honey Be Free. So shout out to him. He's going to find the different kind of pouches. He's customizing this and selling them for like $20 a pop, and people are buying them. like
Really?
custom made hat, cut patches all over the place, and he's doing his thing. So make sure to shout out to him real quick. I'm gonna try to find his Instagram and shout him back in a few minutes.
Yeah, man. Tell him come on to the show, man. I like to talk to the young entrepreneur, man. See how he got into business and everything. Maybe he can sponsor the 13th floor. See what he has.
Shout out Shorty with the hats.
Easy.
Real quick. Let me just jump in here before we slide on to the next subject. I do got a quick question, y'all. I don't know if this is a segment or this is just a legit question. What would y'all do, right? So I got a next door neighbor, right?
Y'all remember the Nickelodeon show, What Would You Do?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh snap! Well, this ain't that. But,
What you got, G?
but no. So I got a next door neighbor, right? Cool people. I got this whole family.
He gotta start the conversation out like that.
Right. They cool people, whole family. They got kids and everything, right?
But
So.
It's more good.
So I'm meal prepping for the week and everything, so I get a ring at the door, like ding dong. Okay, what's going on? He said, "Hey, yo, did you eat yet? I got this food in here. We've been cooking everything like that. Just trying to see if you ate." I'm like, "No, I didn't eat yet. If you don't mind, that's dope." So exchange the food. He like, "I appreciate you, all that good jazz." And I think about it for a second. I'm like, I took the food, but it's sitting there, and I'm like, I kind of seen the inside of their house. Like, I ain't never been in there. You know what I mean? But they had a door open sometimes, and I can see the inside, and it's not the cleanliest. I don't even know if that's a word, but
I don't think it's a word either. But
cleanest house. So I'm just like, okay, so what would y'all do? Like, would y'all? I took it already, so I'm not gonna give it back.
Does it smell good?
What is it?
That was my second question.
Okay. So it was macaroni and cheese.
Hell nah, everybody.
Never know.
Hold on.
That's it.
Hell nah.
Bro, they wait so
So
long. So it's macaroni and cheese.
Have you seen BJ's macaroni and cheese?
Barbecue chicken, you can mess
BJ,
up.
we gotta find that picture of the macaroni and cheese you made that one time. If it don't look like that, I'm probably not gonna.
Maybe I gotta send y'all a picture first.
What
Is
does
that
look like?
mac and cheese? They got string beans on there. I think they had some ribs.
Ain't no ribs.
I mean, it looked like they
Look good, huh?
Yeah.
So first question I got.
Because I'm waiting on what y'all think.
First question: do they have cats?
No, they got a dog named Chico. Little dog.
Okay, I can do it though. If people got cats, so I can't. I'm sorry. That's just a personal thing.
Whoa!
Right.
That's a Okay, so let me preface that. That's my first question when somebody makes food, because not everybody has boundaries for their cats.
And cats climb up on everything.
Exactly. So, like, I know Art, and I know how Art is, so I don't have a problem. Like, Puss was never a question if they were gonna do something, because I know Art sets boundaries, and like, no, you ain't gonna.
Yes.
Art is a cleanly person. If you can look behind him right now, look how neat and stuff is in.
Yeah,
It sets boundaries. Some people don't set boundaries for cats, so that's my number one question. If they have cats, I'm probably not gonna eat it. First question. Okay. That's the first thing.
He didn't even ask if the mac and cheese tastes good. He just said, "You got a cat." I'm done.
I'm just saying, like, would y'all? If y'all seen the inside of your neighbor's house and it's not the cleanest house, right? Like, you seen it. You never been in that bad boy, but you seen it. Would y'all eat the food?
It depends on what type of dirty we talking about.
You gotta go back to your mom's rule when she said you don't eat from nobody else's kitchen if they if they don't look clean enough. Thank you very much. Take the plate, take it to the house, and
throw it in the trash.
File 13, baby. That thing is going in the trash.
Maybe we can get Fresh to throw this on IG, man, as a question.
Hey Jay, but you can never say that you ate it. You got to come up with something for a reason why you ain't eat it. Because if you said you ate it, they're gonna keep bringing it back.
No, so that
I already took it.
Why don't we just do this right now?
Drop it.
Why don't we just go ahead and get it out
about it, left it out overnight. Hey, I forgot about it, left it out on the stove overnight. My bad. I'm sorry. I threw it away. I just thinking about it.
You can't do that, man. You can't.
Right.
If he say he ate it, they gonna bring it back because he got to tell him whether it was good or bad.
We just gonna do it. We just gonna get it out the way right now, live on the 13th floor. Jay, go get the plate.
Are you going to go? You want to see it?
I want to see it, and then I want you to just taste it.
Negative. Negative. We can end this podcast right now. Thanks for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen, on 13th floor, where the furniture isn't always the best.
You're not gonna taste it.
Can
we see it at least?
That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Good night.
That is, that is.
Hey, you know, what I mean, we could move on to the
All right,
to the
Jay.
matter at hand.
What you really brought us together tonight for, Jay? What do we really come here for?
Oh, and I just wanted y'all to take, man. I don't know if everybody's seen it or the viewers, if you guys have seen it. Black Klansmen.
Hot fire.
Boom shakalaka, right? But no, so there's a scene at the end of it. Spoiler alert. There's a scene at the end of it where I forgot her name, but she basically told Ron that she couldn't bang with him because he was a police officer. She felt like ultimately she actually said the words, "I feel like I can't sleep with the enemy." And just because he was a detective, even though he was down for the liberation of the people, right? He was obviously in support of the African American culture. She just felt as if, she was the student union, the president of the Black Student Union, and she just felt like she was sleeping with the enemy and she couldn't bang with him. So I just wanted to know, what would y'all take on that? Like, is she justified in that, or do y'all agree with her because he's a police officer, or do y'all feel like she kind of just too woke, if you will?
I would say she's probably too woke in the mindset that there's different ways to approach the problem. And just like in the algebraic equation, you look at it from different ways. And you got to be able to see, how to get to the end. And if she's coming in directly with, "Oh, well, you're just a cop, that's all you see," which she did, she's limiting her view. And the reason people get stuck in this cycle is because they don't limit their view and they don't grow. So it's always going to be a mindset that at that time of year, this is in the 70s or 60s, whatever it was, that all cops were bad. But if that were the case, then we would never have any black cops, black captains, black anyone now, because everyone will assume that you can't go in from the inside and infiltrate that way.
So I agree with Faison. There's multiple ways to attack the systemic issues that are prevalent amongst our community. And I think the sooner we realize that as a collective, the quicker we can attack from all sides, surround the enemy, and, progress forward. I think it's a shame that we kind of force that divide on ourselves in those instances, because in my opinion, I think it's a little bit easier. I won't say it's very easy, but it's a little bit easier to infiltrate the system. And it's crazy. Travis Scott has this lyric in one of his songs off of Astroworld, but he's like, infiltrate and then move in on your enemy randomly. But infiltrate the system and create the change from within, because the system is designed to work a certain type of way.
But something she also said in the movie is that you can't change the system from within because the white man, that's what was said. And the white man will never give up his position of power. So in order for you to change the system from within, you would have to gain that position.
They won't give it up.
She said that. So that caught my attention too. And I'm like, okay, so if you can't change it from within, then you have to attack it from the outside in, from that perspective.
So you can create.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Faison. I don't cut you.
No, I mean, I was saying, yes, that's where the mindset of that we can't win at all, and that's invalid. You can change from inside by taking over. I mean, there's positions put in place and appointed by higher authorities. So captains, sergeants, all these things can move in and go through the process of that. That's in government too. When people force that, we'll never get a black president, or we'll never get a black judge, or we'll never get and then you work your way up and you get that person. And then once that one person's there, this is possible? Oh crap, let me go in from this side. Because all that's all bullied upon. Everything. So it's like just the fact that she was stuck on that. We can't do this way. We got to go militant. We got to go from outside. We got to make all this noise and rattle the system instead of being the sneaky one that comes behind the lines and pops the guy from the back of the head and say, now we got the spot. Like, you can't if you don't go for the king, you got to go to kill. You can't go for the king yelling because it ain't going to work.
Yeah, and I think so for me, I think they're both necessary. You got to attack this thing from all fronts. And to just think that you're going to just create and that be it, excuse me, when I believe that there is a certain level of the system is already in place. Mm-hmm. We just have a hard time using it to our advantage. Mm-hmm. Because when we are heavily involved in the system, you get wins like in St. Louis County, where you got a county prosecutor change over after 25 years of the same. You get wins like in Atlanta, where you have I think the mayor of Atlanta was a female that just won not too long ago. You get Barack Obama as president. You have all of the Alabama, another situation where when we utilize our power in the system, we get the results that we need. I don't know. I just can't see like that divide. It's just it's terrible, and it's very, very like it's hurting. It's hurtful because it stops so much progress, and it's just another thing that an oppressor can use against you.
Yeah.
So when I asked Jay this quick question, so when I'm listening to everybody because I haven't seen the movie yet. Okay, and I'm not worried about the spoiler alert because I'm just gonna watch a movie because it's Spike Lee and it's a Spike Lee joint, and I gotta go see it regardless.
Do the right thing.
But when I look at I listen to the question you asked, and I think about, first of all, that term woke. I'm getting tired of that joint. I'm tired of the way it's being used and what it stands for, and people using it to talk about any and everything under the sun. I'll get back to that in a second.
Okay.
I'm gonna get back to that in a second.
So, it's using that. It's used as wake up, not woke. But go ahead.
But as you go back to wake up, then you go back to school days,
Right?
And Spike Lee's thing. Wake up.
So
Right.
wake up, but the term woke that in the present tense is a whole nother caveat that people are taking way too far. But anyway, so when you talk about she couldn't rock with him no more, do you think it's because of his profession and what it stands for? Do you think it's his personality and what he did personally? Do you think it's just her vision, her perception of the position and not the person?
Oh, it was definitely position. It wasn't really the person, because like for everything that he was before she found out he was a detective, she was banging with him. Like she was rocking with him. Everything was cool. But when she found that out, and she asked him if he turned in his letter of resignation for the police department, and he said no. Ever since he was a kid, he wanted to be a cop. And she said, then we can't really move forward together. I feel like I'm sleeping with the enemy. So it was definitely position, not the person himself.
Okay, so I'm listening to everybody thinking that the infiltration of the system, and I go through this whole mindset. I'm just listening to everything going on, and then I come right back to a present day situation where you got Omarosa, and I'm making parallels to that situation and her in the house. And maybe I'm stretching too far here. But she was on Rickey Smiley show on Friday, and I'm actually glad I caught it because I got a more in-depth look than I've ever heard from her before. And all I hear really, because I don't research her, I've heard things about her, but I don't really hear her. And I wasn't going to go by the book, but I'm actually interested in what she's saying after I heard her on Rickey Smiley. She was on there for about 35, 40 minutes. On Friday morning. Her, Jeff Johnson, Ricky, and the whole team was just going back and forth about things that people calling her a sellout, and the backlash she was receiving while she was there, but now infiltrating the system. From her perspective, we listened to her reasoning why she decided to join and go into the house and what her mission was, what her goal was to do while she was there. But then people kind of welcoming her back because of the light she can shed now on the system from the inside. So I kind of see the infiltration.
I have a huge problem with that because everything was all good when, she was in the good graces. As soon as she gets booted out, that's when she wants to start blowing her whistle.
Well, so that's the problem.
As far as I understand. You know what I mean?
And that's what the perceived perception is. But her whole thing of why she went there to begin with. She said, because Jeff Johnson asked her, so what was your intentions when you joined? What did you believe you could get done? And she said, nobody has ever asked her that question. She's always had to force that answer. People don't want to hear that question. So when she was the highest ranking African-American within the cabinet, not cabinet, I'll take that back. That's the wrong word.
I think you were right.
Not cabinet, but
it was the cabinet. It was the advisors.
Yeah.
The advisors. So her goal there was to, no matter what you believe, Republican or Democrat or independent or a variation of everything combined, her goal was to be the voice or and to bring another viewpoint that could sway and bring light to decisions that were being made. Because her thing was, the worst thing could happen was no representation at all to be in those conversations.
So now I wish I had known we was gonna get on Omarosa, because I would have been able to do a little bit.
I don't want to take it too left field because I want to stick to, but I kind of draw on parallels.
So I watched her. I got to see her on the Daily Show with Trevor Noah, and he brings comedy in, but he also brings in some serious questions. And he asked her. He's like, he talked about why'd you do that? And why would you go inside the process? She said that she had to. Why get the tapes now? I've been collecting the tapes since day one because I knew that I needed to protect myself once I was done. There's always been a long-term plan, and if you're going to come for me, I will be. She says, if anyone's going to come attack her, or she should be feared, she shouldn't fear anything, because if a bear is going to attack her, you should be afraid for the bear, not her. Because I'm always taking care of myself, looking forward to the next step. So Omarosa is a very smart woman. Like, she's not stupid. She may play this role and blah blah, but she went in there knowing. She went in there just like Hoover sent people in to watch Martin Luther King and to watch Malcolm X, and all these people were watching, and infiltrating the the Black movement, the Black Panther movement. She knew what she was doing. Now, granted, it didn't go to that extreme, but she got the information, intel she needed to say, "Hey guys, here it is. Like, this is what's going on inside." And you may see the TV, you may see the president do this and so forth, but here's what's actually happening inside this crazy place. And that's what's needed. And it could be a two-edged sword, because this could make anyone who supports and wants to move forward with president to really say, all right, well, it's fine, he got this, we understand. Or it can be, hey, like, this is the time for you to change. You literally have 3 years left to get everyone together and say, we have this information now that we know what's going to go inside of it. But if she hadn't got fired, it would have come out in 4 years. This is going to come out at some point in time before the next election. It just happened that Kelly went in and did this spitefully now before later on. But it was going to happen. It would be a bigger book.
So the intentions, but you got the intentions behind it.
Was always there. Was always there.
And that's when I go back to the position or the person. So when you talk about his position, and I forget you said his name was, because what's his name again?
Kelly.
Ron.
So Ron, his position stood for something she couldn't stand. His position stopped her, prevented her from seeing beyond the person and what the potential was. And when I draw the parallel,
I was gonna say, well, not only that, I think because she knew how the department operated, or had a really good idea, because he was a pawn, he was used as a token, and when they had the opportunity, they did snatch every little bit of freedom or whatever. I mean, he did a great job at what he was assigned to do, but the system again, clamps down on that and is like, all right, no more. That's it.
Yeah, thank you. You got enough information. Now we're gonna stop it because you're going to
right. So,
but at the same, it was some decent people in there at the same time. So I think that the problem is when we do what they do to us. I think that's the problem. You know what I mean? When you just classify everybody as this one thing, and then they retaliate as when they do when we get the same thing done to us. That's frustrating. But it's like, if you group all cops in that ballpark, then it's like, well, how can you really get upset? You know what I mean? So I don't necessarily agree with her saying, "Oh, I'm sleeping with the enemy," because at the end of the day, everything he did was for us. So it's like he just the tactics weren't the same. But it's like the ends justify the means in that sense. Yeah, so
right. But let's make devil's advocate. So during the movie, there was a scene where there's the one cop who is clearly racist and clearly takes advantage of his power, and he's like, "I will shoot you in the face. I don't care. Like, I'm a white cop, and nothing you can do about it." He even says this to Doron, the actual black cop, right in front of him. And yes, the cops will come in and they would do that, but they had the brotherhood that, hey, well, we know he's a bad cop, we know he's this, but we can't think about it because it's a brotherhood of trust. Facts. At some point in time, you're going to group them, get them together, even though he's a new guy coming in. But she only seeing that, hey, like, what happened, and yeah, he's still on the force. Like, how can you now? I can't rock with you as a cop. you as a person, but you as a cop, I can't separate you two apart because you now are living in that lie of, oh, I'm going to protect the brotherhood, not protect people, in the mindset. So there's two ways to look at that story from her point of view. I don't think that it was okay for her to say that, that's just the end because it's just, I can't deal with it. But here's why I can't do this process. And allow him to say, well, I'm working on this. Because if she had waited a little longer, she would have solved the process. And that this happened afterwards, because this is after the whole situation happened. She still saw that he had the ability to make a change, but she still didn't want the change to happen. It wasn't fast enough for her. It wasn't big enough. It's still, well, it doesn't matter. You're still wearing blue. So that's the problem.
Right.
The movie has very many layers in this movie, and there's a lot to see. And if you haven't seen this movie, it's a great movie to watch. I mean, Spike kicked butt and made a great movie that I think everyone should see. And it was very interesting to see that the mixed colors, and like I said before, the mixed colors in the movie, just to wake up and see that after the movie ends, like no one's moving. The movie was silent. No one moved. No one said anything.
Right.
Everyone was looking and waiting to see who would get up first. And you look around, you see a lot of white faces, like in my area, Indian faces. Just seeing it, going, wow, okay, it's a lot, because that tie at the end, at the very very end, like brings it back to like right now, and like, yo, like it's like us against everyone, and us mean like good people versus bad people. It's not like color. It's like us against them, and how are we gonna make sure that we tackle this process and tackle hate, because everyone's getting hurt now. Like, it's not just black people anymore. It's, I mean, a bigger system. Everyone's getting hurt. Unfortunately, which is the face of a lot more. But everyone's taking the blunt.
Go ahead, Spike.
BJ, going back to one of your original statements or earlier statements. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. Destiny saw it, which was interesting because she was hanging out with a non-African American while we were in Cleveland. So the question was, you went to see it with? Oh, okay. So as an 18-year-old, she didn't get that deep into it. So it's a conversation.
Might get a little approval from Pops.
For what? Girls, friends, girl.
Oh, it's girl. Oh, okay. Okay. You said movie and Caucasian. I thought
Nah.
Moving right along. BJ, you mentioned you take issue with the whole term woke and what that means and how it's used today. Why is that?
I understand the intention, but it's become this somehow measurable trait of a person. Mm-hmm. And first of all, I don't understand how it's measurable. That's my first thing with it. Compare somebody's wokeness to somebody else's wokeness, and I'm more woke than you, or you're not woke enough, or it's just the way it's been used and turned around. So first of all, the use of media. I go back to, and I don't get me wrong, I love the series Dear White People. But that's when I first started hearing it and seeing it used, and I'm like, why are we doing this? And it made me listen to it and look at print more closely when people are doing it, as I say print, social media. So somebody will say you're not woke if your viewpoints are different from there. But my thing was, woke implies that at some point in time something was dormant or something was asleep. So if I hate to say it's a generational thing, but I say more millennials with the terms more now. But millennials are experiencing something that the latter half of the previous generation, I don't know what it's termed anymore, because this whole generation jump has been it's been crazy over the years. But anyway, the latter of the previous generation have gone through life where the technology has brought all these events to light, right? I saw something from I think it was Will Smith earlier, but it was saying racism didn't increase. video recording has increased.
Right.
Video capture increased, right? So it's not like things weren't happening. There was just no record of things happening before. Not as broad as it is today. So there was a time and generation that people weren't experiencing things. They were sheltered from different things. Now that things are in light, this current generation is more aware of what's going on. But they had no experience with it before. I'll go to our age group. JD, you're how old?
27.
27. So I'm not even going to include you in that number. I'm going to say 35 and up. 35 and up. It depends on where you were raised, depending on what situations, whether you were born in the North, you spent time in the South, different interactions you had. Your experiences shaped your approach to life, your reaction to different situations, your interaction with people. Now, again, that doesn't say the younger generation did not have those experiences, but their exposure to a lot of those, our generation started keeping people, try to enclose them in the capsule and keep them away from that stuff. So it's not they become awake because they were asleep from it. It's like your exposure just wasn't there. And the 35, 40-year-old now that are here, people are saying, well, they're not as aggressive as they need to be. Or they're too caught up in the business world or professional world to challenge the system. That's why I take shape at, because my approach, I'll use me, for example. My approach to challenge the system is not that I have to get out with a sign and march somewhere every time to protest, or I have to get out and have a rally to do something. I use my position, my education, my contacts, whatever, to do whatever I need to do from my point of view. Education be the top point of view right now for me. So I don't feel the need to stand out and protest or do it. I'll say my piece, whatever, but I'm changing from a systematic point of view, how I see equity with schools and children of color in the United States, specifically in Florida right now, in South Florida. But how I do that is my approach to the situation of how I see the system changing. Because we can do this and we can have protest rallies, but until we figure out how to change the system, all of these are just actions that we're just isolating each other instead of pulling each other together like we've been doing it. We used to do back in the day.
So I want to continue on contrast and challenge a little bit for a second. The first thing I'll say is, yes, I agree with you. I am over, and I put it in our group chat we have. I'm over marches. I think they do nothing. I think it's a waste of time. Does it bring awareness and put it on the news? Yeah, but that dies out. There has to be a way to interact and do things silently. No, things happen, and you can do things without making all the noise. I think the problem I've always seen with, the lower number, I can't think of the word I'm trying to think of, but when you are underrepresented, that you always want to scream loud and do the marches and walk on the street and do everything else, process that. But that allows you to have that one moment in time. But then what happens afterwards? Instead of building an organization that runs, or building the community that's going to go forward the process and then make things happen. And I'm going to use the Asian community as an example. You never ever see, unless it's this is for like their New Year's Day or some kind of celebration, which that should be marched and a cool thing for in parades. If there's a problem, that thing is handled internally. It is locked in place, and movements happen. Like, tell me the last time you heard an issue with an Asian community that they publicly did something in a big stance, or they just made change happen in the background. And this is crazy because this came from Little Duval.
I think we have turmoil internally to handle it internally. I don't know if we're strong enough. We have a strong enough infrastructure to do something like that. You know what I mean? Because like we have that conflict.
That's what I'm saying. So the whole point is that we got left Johnny Do-Gooder over here wanting to go out, and he wants to have this big march, and then you have Bobby background person in the back saying, "Oh no, I'm going to do this."
These
And
names,
everyone is always trying to do something different instead of saying, "Listen, we need to come together and let's say, all right, this is the plan." Like, all right, if cops are coming into our neighborhoods, for instance, and they are shooting down, our people in here, okay, cool. We need to get together. We need to get some of you guys need to get into the academy. We got to change this internally. All right, we need some of you guys to get into government so we can get this going forward. All right, we got to get people on street watch. Like, you do this all in silence and movement. Nothing needs to be said out loud, because once you say it out loud, now you've given your playbook away and you lose. Like, stop talking and start making action. The action is where it comes into play. I mean, you don't hear anything about doing Bill Belichick telling his playbook. No, because that's all internally. These are all things that it's the knowledge that we need to do and take that can make things happen. Like, it's just the way things are. But we've always been, I'm going to be the loudest voice in the room. We're going to tell you what our plans. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. And then once we're ready to do it, you're already blocked because they already know they're going to be on this block, this corner. Stop them here. Put the guards up. They're going to go any further than this. You're going to go for a march? Cool. Give me your permit for the march. I want to know where you're going, what corner you're going to go to, how many people you're going to have there. All right, great. Now your stops. Again, all about the show, but nothing's going on after it's done. It dissimates, and then you go back to your life, and you go, "Oh man, I wish it happened." So it's just going forward. So that's that part of it. And then the woke part and the waking up and the mindset behind that. I think you're totally right, BJ. It has been overused and overplayed, and I think that it's taken its own life, like Black Lives Matter has taken its own life. There are so many different chapters of Black Lives Matters of the extreme. And then there it's like all kinds of levels of this process of where it originally started from. And I think the wake up part was like, hey, know where you are, but understand that you have to go where you want to get to because you want to get there. You're not going to get help from this person. If you are going into corporate structure, know that you're not going to get the same benefits that they have over there. You may have to work a little bit harder. So wake up and work a little harder to make sure that you aren't doing things that's going to inhibit you from moving past that barrier. Break that glass. Don't assume it's going to be broken for you. That's, I think, behind it is the wake up mindset that originally started for it, but it's been cluttered and watered down and used so much. Now it became like just a saying that's being mixed in, and why you're like, I'm sick of it, because it's being used for everything it's supposed to be what it was for.
I disagree.
That's where we are. That's good.
Being a part of that younger generation, I think it's not just awareness of what's going on. We got the video cameras and things of that nature, but it's self-awareness. And I think I can say from my own personal experience, the way that I was raised is probably a little bit different than the way BJ, Mike, and I want to say Coach K, but Faison. You guys were raised, and I don't know, but that wokeness, it kind of happened for me over time, and it was in my adult years where I started to understand who I was and where I came from and the power that I wielded. And I feel like the reason that you see it used so much at this point is because this generation is falling into that. Whereas you all lived that, you all lived Rodney King. You lived apartheid. You lived, or your parents are very close to civil rights. Mm-hmm. Ours weren't. And so what we were taught in books doesn't necessarily align with what actually happened, if we were even taught it in the books. So because we now are starting to wake up and understand who we are and where we come from, that's why you see it so much. Now, it becomes an issue when, as you said, BJ, we start to designate levels and start to put ourselves on a pedestal because we have a little bit more information and knowledge than the next person, instead of sharing that information and knowledge in order to, lift up the next person. I hate to hear some of these super woke individuals go on and on about things. And I think that might be a little bit of where your frustration may lie, BJ, because I see it as well. You'll have somebody go on this super long rant and completely miss the mark with what they probably should have been discussing, because they're so woke and they understand the issue 10 levels above everybody else, when it's just like, nah, man, like, bring yourself down a little bit. Maybe if you explained it to us and showed me the books that you read, and I could come to that level of understanding on my own, instead of trying to set yourself apart and again divide us where we don't need to be divided. Like, it should be a shared effort.
So I I can't disagree with you. I totally see where you're coming from, and that makes sense to me. But I want to refer back to a conversation I was having a couple weeks ago too with an administrator at a college, where we were talking minority students on campus, specifically African American students. And the last few years, with everything that's been going on in the media, everything going on in the world, same with that, but it's been publicized through the media. How you got HBCUs, you got your PWIs, predominantly white institutions. For anybody, I had somebody stop me the other day. They said, "Why did I say PWI?" They had no idea what I was talking about, so I had to break it down. So you got UMS or PWI. Let's take Howard. You got a FAM. You got all these other HBCUs around the country. And everybody comes to these institutions of higher learning. I'm gonna say that again, institutions of higher learning. Mm-hmm. No matter which level you're at, PWI, HBCU, with different experiences and different reactions, different family upbringings, different family makeups, different just experiences in life in general that you're bringing to this campus. Now, what happened is that we've been pushing education so much, and I'm not, again, education my thing, I'm not trying to downplay it, whatever. We've been pushing education so much and reaching these highest heights. So either you're going to a HBCU. I've got some parents that tell me you got no choice but to go to HBCU. And I got some parents that I know that say you're not going to HBCU, you're going to a PWI, because for them it's a status symbol, right? It's a way to prove that we're beyond this or we can beyond that. And I'm not here to compare PWIs to HBCUs. That's a whole nother thing I think we can take on and get some people from HBCUs on too. That's a topic I've had heated debates about. People getting their feelings too much over that. But anyway, to make a long story short, so the conversation got to the point where it was this generation, the last few years with everything coming to light, and the Black Lives Matter movement was the kickoff to this conversation. Reaction of students to the Black Lives Matter on campus. This was the first time students had to feel that PWI had felt that they had to establish a presence of themselves because of what they heard and what they saw of their peers around campus. So they never had a situation where they had to be the forefront and telling the message or establishing that this is real. And because what they hear from their other peers, their non-minority peers, no matter if you're talking about Caucasian, Asian, even Caribbean, African Caribbean, didn't have the same perspective. But it came down to they felt they had to assert themselves and make their presence, make the message known on this campus, on campuses around this country. And that was the first time they saw their white counterparts, their Hispanic counterparts on the other side, looking at them like they were totally like, what is wrong with you? Where'd you come from? Where did all this blackness come from? They had never been confronted with a situation like this before. So they got to the point where they felt like the extremists. They felt to the point where they had to exert some type of a forceful tactic to it. And again, I'm not saying in every situation that wasn't right, because there's certain situations around some of these campuses that happened around the last few years that most definitely some type of, I don't say a force, a level of assertiveness had to be asserted, that we are here, you're going to listen to us, and we are part of this community. You're taking our money just like you're taking everybody else. You're going to listen to what we have to say, right? But that, again, that does not separate or make you put you on a pedestal that you're more woke or you're more involved in the struggle than somebody else who's working a 9-to-5, somebody else who's at a HBCU, or vice versa. So all these different components come together. And again, they've got this tiered system. It's like crazy to me, of levels of wokeness, if you will, to kind of put people in place or how they're perceived or how your message is even received by others, depending on where you tier at in this level, in these levels. So
Unfortunately,
it's just crazy to me.
That's like an unfortunate part of society, though. You know, like you
Right.
only have a certain level of credibility that goes along with what you can speak and know. Go ahead, Jay.
I was gonna say I think that no matter what we put out, no matter what term we put, because aware and woke or it's the same. It's synonymous. You know what I mean? You can you're having an awakening. I didn't necessarily.
I disagree with that. I totally disagree with that.
When you become aware of something, it's an awakening of new information. You know what I mean? Like you're becoming more aware of it, or you know what I mean. So it can. I think they could be used interchangeably, maybe lightly, but it's.
I think they could be, but I think it's not happening right now.
No, that's what I'm saying. But that's due to the whole tier system, and I think no matter what we put out there, society, like Brett said, is going to do that. You know what I mean? Like there's insecurities amongst people that just feel like I have to have more than you because whatever you have is not enough, whatever the case may be. But I think that, you know, when you do have a true awakening of who you are as an individual, then you don't look at the next person as competition, or you don't feel like you have to have more power over that individual. You just enjoy who you are, you know? So, but no, I agree with what you're saying, though, definitely, with the whole term being misconstrued for what it was, the original intent of it. But I do think that it's a great term if it's used in the correct context. It could be received very well.
Agreed.
So if you're listening out there, man, let us know what you think. You know, is there such term? How do you feel about the whole too woke versus, you know, not woke enough, and you know, the tier level? What are your experiences? Drop us a line, hit us in the comments, or tag us on all social media at 13th Floor, please, and let us know what you think about the situation.
Yeah.
Before we get out of here, I got J-Day, so I got to get the fit tip, and then I got to get Faison's corner. So I'm going to Faison first, man. What you got for us this week?
All right. So we're going to talk about building confidence. And since you're on that platform right now, here we go. Let your children overhear you saying complimentary things about them to other adults.
Oh man, that's big, man. You remember how, like, I remember my grandma. My mom, it's like when you do something bad, like they just got to tell the whole freaking world, man. It's like, yo, why you embarrassing me? Like, I know I went to bed last night, man. You don't got to tell Miss Sally down the street that I went to bed last night.
Exactly. But you tell them that you did well. You opened your own business. You sold this much in lemonade last night. Like, you're a business person. Like you have the sense of knowledge, and you say it loud enough for them to hear you, but not loud for them to know you're trying to let them hear you. Is where it is, and that builds that self-awareness, self-confidence that, hey, you know what, I can do good things. I can do great.
Positive reinforcement, no doubt.
Exactly, man. It works wonders. It is, man. What you got fit tip this week, baby?
All right, yo. So if you like, for me, I know I love the protein shake thing, right? So, you know, if you in the gym, you hitting the protein shake, right? But there is a difference between, not all protein shakes are created equal, if you will. Right, so there's a casein protein, there's a casein whey protein, and then there's a whey protein isolate, and you want to use them strategically. So if you're looking for a meal replacement, casein whey protein is the way to go, because there's a slow digestion and there's a slow release of the amino acids, so that you're getting that quality and you're getting a sense of fullness longer. If you get the whey protein isolate, that's more so used for post-workout, because it's a quick release of amino acid. It's that you get that quick protein synthesis, so that you're getting that nutrient sent directly to your muscles post-workout. So you want to use these interchangeably, but you want to use them strategically so you get the most bang for your buck. And you just look at the bottle. It'll probably say it, more than likely it'll say it under the protein. So you get casein whey protein if you're looking for a meal replacement, and protein isolate for a post-workout quick snack.
I didn't even know I was doing the right thing, but I'm definitely a protein isolate kind of guy. Jay, do you have any recommended brands of these?
Gold Standard whey protein, Gold Standard 100% is definitely like
the gold standard.
The gold standard. I don't even know how else to say it. You know what I mean? I personally use 6-Star Pro Nutrition, 6-Star Pro Plus Nutrition. That one is actually a casein isolate blend, so you get the slow digestion part of it, but you also get the you get the quick, protein synthesis release in there as well. I use that one, but you can find that one at Walmart. The Gold Standard, I think they sell that at GNC. Just depending on what you want to do for it. For me, it's kind of different, because I use protein shakes as more of like I can use those as like a snack, just due to my caloric intake, because I'm trying to bulk. Some people use it as a meal replacement. So if you're looking for the meal replacement, you definitely want to get the casein just because it has that more of the nutrients. It's better served there, and then you want like I said, the isolate is more so designed for the post workout joint.
And if our listeners want to get more tips, they want to know the difference between, the protein shake or getting that raw protein out of your chicken breast and things of that nature.
Right.
Where can they get connected with you at, Jay?
No doubt, man. Follow me on IG at JDaceEncourages or at JDace_encourages, or shoot me a line at info@JDaceEncourages.com. info@JDaceEncourages.com. Let's connect.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Mike D, BJ, y'all got anything you want to add before we get up out of here?
Man,
You've been great today, Mike.
Right.
Love your presence on the podcast. Bravo.
Hey, listen, he's dropping. I heard the voice a couple times drop in the background, something quickly. And then
if you want to hear more from Mike D, the old bro on the podcast, let him know. Give him a comment and say, Mike D, you don't speak enough, but when you do speak, you drop wisdom, man.
Somebody send him some information about those sticks.
What sticks?
what sticks?
This remember he asked, can you get NFL Network on one of those sticks?
Got you, Mike. Don't worry. We're about to end this. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're not subscribed already, make sure you get subscribed with us. iTunes, Google Play. Catch the videos on YouTube, Vimeo. We on SoundCloud. Anywhere you're listening to your podcast. We on Spotify too. Get connected with us, the 13th Floor. If you want to follow us on IG, Facebook, at 13th Floor, please shoot us a line, leave us a comment. If you love it, like it, dislike it, whatever. We take feedback. We're not sensitive. We want it all.
Give us some suggestions of shows too, man.
Yeah, because I just wrote down that HBCU versus PWI. So if you think you big balling and you went to a HBCU and you want to come on the show and talk about it with all us PWIs, let me see what you got. I'm out here trying to kill mosquitoes with some axes. Let's go. Nah, for real though, we done out here on the 13th floor, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for listening to the 13th floor, where the furniture isn't always the best, but the views are amazing.
Get well, Z. Love you, dog.
yeah.
The 13th floor.
What's it, 82?
Somebody did it. Thank you.
I was gonna drop it, but I was like, dang, I don't want to say the wrong number.
The 13th floor.